I'm the Tax Geek with another oversimplification of a complicated tax topic. Today, we do a deeper dive into the head of household filing status. The head of household filing status is the most complex, the most misunderstood, and unfortunately, the most abused of all 5 filing statuses. There are 3 misconceptions that people have about the head of household status. Misconception number 1. Single people who live alone can claim head of household because they are the head of their own household. Sorry, not true. Such taxpayers should use the single status, unless they are making a home for a qualifying person. Misconception number 2. Married people with spouses who don't work can claim head of household because as the breadwinner, they head the household. Again, not true. Married people in this situation need to file with a married status. In fact, most people in this situation would have better outcomes by filing jointly, even if the spouse had no income. Misconception number 3. One spouse can file as head of household and claim the children, and the other spouse can file as single. Absolutely not. Again, married people must use a married status. If the 2 spouses live together and file this way, this is illegal, and if refundable tax credits are involved, such as the earned income credit, borders on the fraudulent. These misconceptions and more are why professional tax preparers must make sure every one of their clients who claims this status claims it genuinely, or the preparer may face a $540 fine. So that being said, who can claim head of household? To claim the head of household status, a taxpayer needs to meet 3 criteria: be unmarried or considered unmarried, provide over 50% of household support, and make a home for a qualifying person who may or may not be the taxpayer's dependent. Let's look at these criteria in depth. Being unmarried is pretty straightforward. It can mean you have never been married, you're divorced or legally separated, or you are widowed and your spouse died more than 3 years ago. To be considered unmarried is a little trickier. To be considered unmarried, you must be married and file a separate return from your spouse. You must also have not lived with your spouse for the last 6 months of the year, and your qualifying person is a child, stepchild, or foster child who lived with you for at least half the year. If you are claiming you did not live with your spouse for the last 6 months of the year, you must also state that you expect this situation to continue indefinitely into the future. Any type of temporary absence does not qualify you to be considered unmarried. When you are considered unmarried, you may only claim a child, stepchild, or foster child as a qualifying person. No other dependents qualify you for the head of household status when you are considered unmarried. So let's consider household support. To claim the head of household status, you must provide over 50% of your household support. Only your direct contribution constitutes household support. Government benefits and sources of income such as child support is support provided by others and does not count as your contribution. Also, what you spend on support for your qualifying person does not count towards household support. You must also consider all the members of the household, not just the ones who show up on your tax return. If you share a home with several others, it can be very difficult to prove you provide over 50% of support to the entire household. Finally, let's see who is a qualifying person. Most of the time, it is your dependent who lived with you for at least half the year, but there are exceptions. You may use a child that is not your dependent if you are divorced and allow the non-custodial spouse to claim the dependent using Form 8332. In this case, write the name of the qualifying person that is not your dependent in this space on Form 1040. A parent you claim as a dependent qualifies you for the head of household status even if that parent doesn't live with you. A person who qualifies as your dependent that is not related to you, such as a girlfriend or boyfriend, does not qualify you for the head of household filing status. And that's it, the head of household filing status in a nutshell. But as usual, there are many more details to selecting this filing status. Please consult the links in the description below if you need more information. If you found this video informative, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more content like this. If you have any questions, comments, or suggestions for future videos, please leave them in the comments section below. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more oversimplification of complicated tax topics.